Hello, welcome back to 4th grade Math Corner. Mrs. Boyd, I know, recorded a video for this lesson already, which is Module 4, Lesson 15, but it didn't seem to have sound, so I'm going to really quickly try to summarize what she was talking about. The learning target for this lesson 15 is that today I will name quadrilaterals based off their types of lines and angles. So what this means is that we're going to look at four sided shapes. Those are quadrilaterals. Notice the word quad means four. We're going to look at four-sided shapes, and what we're going to be paying close attention to is their sides, whether they're parallel or perpendicular, and then their angles, if they are right angles, acute angles, or obtuse angles. Really, we're just going to focus mostly on right angles. So the first type of shape we're going to talk about is a trapezoid. So a trapezoid is a special type of quadrilateral because it has four sides, but the sides are a little different. So if you look at this, hold on, let me make them more straight. If you look at these lines, these are parallel lines. They are used to make a trapezoid. So a trapezoid has one pair or set of parallel lines. So remember, this is our symbol for parallel. We then connect these lines with lines. Oops, sorry, that one's not long enough. But if you notice, these lines are not parallel. That is why this is a trapezoid, because it has the top and bottom are parallel, but the sides will eventually, if it kept going, intersect. So if your problem set asks you to draw or to tell about a trapezoid, you will notice that a trapezoid has one set of parallel lines. Trapezoids can also be made like this, and then we use lines to connect them. So they could look a little different. It could be upside down. As long as it has one pair of parallel sides, it is a trapezoid. A parallelogram could be considered a trapezoid, but a trapezoid is not a parallelogram. A parallelogram is special because it has two pairs or sets of parallel lines. Since there's only four lines in a quadrilateral, the opposite sides of all parts of the shape must be parallel to be a parallelogram. Notice this only has one pair, so this trapezoid, so it is not a parallelogram. But since a parallelogram has two pairs, it could be considered a trapezoid because a trapezoid has at least one pair. So let's look at a parallelogram. Parallelograms have two sets of parallel sides. These lines could go on and on and on forever and never touch. And since it's a quadrilateral, we need four sides. We could connect these two lines with two more lines, which again would be parallel because they go on and on forever and they would never touch. So this is a parallelogram. The funny thing about a parallelogram is, notice it said two pairs of parallel sides. So let's think about other four-sided shapes that we know. We know about rectangles. Let's look at what we know about rectangles. So if I draw four sides, whoops, and it won't be perfect. I'm going to try to make it perfect. There we go, four sides. Notice that, see, a parallelogram is two pair of parallel lines. A rectangle, the top and bottom, the opposite sides, are parallel, and the sides are parallel, which means a rectangle is also a parallelogram, but what makes it a rectangle is the angles. So this is the one where we're going to start talking about angles. So looking at the 4 angles inside of a rectangle, you should notice that it's all right angles. The special thing about a rectangle is that it has 4 right angles. So if you're asked to draw a rectangle, what you need to make sure of is that it has 4 right angles. Any quadrilateral that has 4 right angles is a rectangle, which makes me start to think about another quadrilateral we know about, a square. So what do we know about a square? We know that, it's not going to be perfect. Let me try again. I know that I learned in kindergarten for 2nd grade that a square has all equal sides. So that's different than a rectangle. But what is the same as a rectangle is that if I look at the angles in a square, whether I take this square and, whether I take this square and leave it as it is, or it won't let me. If I rotate it onto its side, it's still going to be all 90-degree angles or all right angles. So a square has all equal sides, and it also has to have 4 right angles. So if we look back at a rectangle, we see in order to be a rectangle, you have to have 4 right angles. So could a square be considered a rectangle if it has 4 right angles? If you said yes, you are right. A square is a rectangle. But if you look at the rectangle, a rectangle is not always a square because this rectangle does not have all equal sides. The last quadrilateral that we are going to talk about is... actually, we don't have to talk about them. I was going to talk about a rhombus, but we'll save that for lesson 16. So, hopefully this will help you on your problem set. On your problem set, you are just going to construct, which means draw, a quadrilateral with at least 1 pair of parallel sides, a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides, a quadrilateral with 4 right angles, and a special rectangle that has all sides that are equal. You will then just label pictures of the shapes with their names and then answer questions about their attributes. Attributes are the types of lines and angles that they have. I hope this helps you with today's problem set. Have a good day.